This is a walkthrough of the V6 software, including the Arcadia Storefront and curtain wall systems. This version of V6 is made available to Arcadia customers. Shown here is the pre-quote setup screen, where you select the customer. You can add any of your customer data into the database that you require, but here we'll just pick a company that's been set up called AGC Company. Enter the job name. Choose the finish colors for this job. All of the available Arcadia finishes are listed in the database, and you can filter by finish groups. For example, here we'll choose Class 2 Clear Anodized. And a prompt is made for what kind of threshold finish do you require. Contact name and various other header information is available to fill in. Click OK on the pre-quote setup screen, and you'll see that the main V6 dialog appears and is populated with the data that was captured. Next step is to start adding products into the quote database. Click on the Add a Frame icon, and you'll be presented with the Frame, System, and Type dialog. These are all the product types that are available in the Arcadia database. We're going to pick a center glazed storefront system. We can either add a frame and door directly, or in this case we'll be adding a screw spline outside set elevation. You can see that V6 has added a very small 2-row, 2-column elevation. We're going to modify that by running the frame design wizard. We're going to set the frame width and height. We can use a single tick to indicate feet, or if there are no dimensions specified, as in 125.5, inches are implied. We can either set up the number of rows and columns or enter what V6 calls a shapecode, where each digit represents the number of rows in a particular column. 212 is going to be 2 lights in the left column, single light to insert a door into, and then 2 lights on the right. The elevation has been created, and we're going to do some basic editing of dimensions. Because we're planning on placing a pair of doors in the center column, setting the opening width to be 72 inches. Going to run the equalize light option on the 2 outside columns, choosing the DLO reference line to equalize based on. And I'm going to set the row height of the external columns to 24 inches. Next step is to select that central light, and we're going to place a door in that light. It's going to be a pair of doors with a transom. This is the screen to specify the basic details of a door. We're choosing a surface closer and a pair of doors, offset pivot hinges, and then that door has been placed into the opening. At this point the door has got all default settings. We're going to select it and do some more fine tuning, editing. This is the options editor for the door. It's picked up the basic dimensions that we entered from the elevation. We're going to decrease the door height to 84 inches. Change the door style to be a medium style door. The door configuration screen has many hardware options and other selections to make. We're just going to run through a few, including modifying the lock type. We'll select a specific lock to be used. We can either enter custom locks or search the database for standard Arcadia products. We'll also change the inside cylinder to be a thumb turn. Click OK to commit the stator back into the door. And let's change the door closer that we're going to use. We'll pick one of the standard door closers. Click OK again to save that selection back into the door. We're going to skip over the other hardware options that are available and just add in a miscellaneous hardware item. In this case, we're just going to add in a power transfer product. Just entering a part code. We'll just use XYZ as an example. Description, power transfer. A note describing the actual prep work that needs to be applied. Cost of that product. And the amount of labor. As we've been modifying the hardware on this door, we can see that the summary has been showing up on the main door configuration screen. Click OK, and we see a review screen confirming the selections we've made and also giving us some chance to fine-tune. Here's the door frame details on the left-hand side of the screen. Door details. We're going to change the glass top and select some glass. Click OK in the review screen, and the configuration is saved back into the V6 quote item. Next, we click back on the elevation, the parent product. Click on the Details tab. Change the quantity from 1 to 10 to indicate that there are 10 of this particular line item. And now I'm going to add one more item to the quote, just an elevation without a door this time. So I click on the fixed elevation / side lights. I'm going to choose the screw spline outside set again. But this time when I configure, I'm going to create a multi-face elevation. Click OK, and this will bring up the multifaceted frame wizard. Enter an overall elevation height. Going to continue with 125.5 inches to be consistent. Let's set the width of the first face to be 96 inches. Create an inside angle between the faces of 135 degrees, where 180 degrees is straight. Light code of 2-2, meaning 2 rows and 2 columns. And I clicked Add and added the second face in, and it duplicated the width and light code. I'm going to leave that the same and click OK. So V6 is populating the elevation. As I rotate that round, you can see from a top view that there's a 135 degree angle between the two faces. I could have as many faces in this elevation as needed, but I'm going to limit it to 2 faces for speed. If I click on the Cad Link tab, I can create a cross section that shows, for example, the corner condition. Looking from the top, we can see the 2 millions adjacent to the corner and the 135 degree corner post that's been selected in this job. I'm going to set the quantity of this to be 10 as well, just to bring a little bit of volume into the quote. Next, I'm going to click on the Summary tab. When I do this, V6 sums up all the bill of materials that's been generated, figures out the stock links that are required by optimizing the lineal material, and gives me a summary of the cost and price for this job. Next, I'm going to choose the reports to print for this quote. There are a number of custom reports made available by Arcadia, selecting the customer quote report, and a couple of other reports as a sample of type of information that V6 makes available. Click Yes to the preview option so that we can see the output on the screen. and click OK so that V6 starts generating the reports. So here's a report that would typically be provided to your customer. Information about each of the line items and the total cost of the job or price of the job. From within the print preview screen, I can print to a printer, save the output to a PDF document, or send the PDF as an email attachment. Click Close, and the next report is generated. This is the frame material for each of the elevations, given the actual individual cut lengths. Again, click on the Exit button to close this preview down, and the final report is shown. This is just the takeoff elevations. It's a quick summary of all the elevations in the job. That's the end of this V6 walkthrough. Many thanks for considering Sofdeck for your configuration software needs.